I found that I was spending about $20 a day on lunch. That sucks. Okay, my fault. I was doing that 5 to 6 times, maybe even 7 times a week, and that was coming out to about 100 to 140 a week. So with the Factor, I figured, okay, I'd be spending the same amount, but I'd be getting a dinner too. Now, to put things in contrast, right, my girl, Catherine, that cat I'm always chasing, I'm always talking about, she works 50, 60, 70 hours a week too in a hot warehouse, no AC. It's not fair to ask her to also try to come up with something to cook too. And then of course there's sometimes where we both come home, we're both just dead tired and it's like, what do you want to eat today? I don't know. So maybe the Factor thing was for both of us, right? It kind of had that convenience factor there. So that way she didn't have to figure out what she was going to make. I didn't have to figure out what I was going to make. And we could both kind of benefit from that. So that was kind of the whole push there. And then of course, if you're burning that kind of time, right? Like if you're working 5, 6, 7 days straight, that's hard to find time to sit down and cook somewhere. Hard to find time to meal prep. Hard to find time to do that kind of stuff, right? So another big push for us. All right, let's get into it. So the pros. Number one, the convenience. We just talked about that whole 8, 9, 10, 12 hour fucking day. Coming home from work, going to the fridge, getting my little Factor meal, throwing it in the microwave, hitting a 3-minute marker. By the time I'm done changing into like my lounge clothes, right? Like my Super Dad Moto Vet Bro wear. Once I'm done with that, like my stuff's ready to go. Eat it, good to go. Done. I don't feel guilty if I ask Catherine to cook. She doesn't feel guilty if she asks me to cook. It's good to go, ready to go. Number two, I get some variety. When I was going to the grocery store every day and getting my lunch, I was just kind of at the mercy of the Tom Thumb kind of deli or the Kroger deli, and I just got whatever was there, and there wasn't a whole lot of variety. With Factor, like one day I'm getting chicken, I'm getting ground beef, I'm getting salmon. I think they have lamb too that I've had some lamb chops there too. It's pretty decent, right? Taste wise it's pretty good, but I get some variety. I get to choose and I have a lot of options. There's like a bunch of meals. Now granted, right, there's only so many ways you can cook chicken, okay? So I get that, but it's nice that there's a variety of different accentuated flavored chickens to choose from, if that makes sense, right? Before, I was eating pretty much just, lean white meat chicken every day. To be able to have the option to do other meats, that's also really, really cool. Keeps things from being boring. Next is it kind of takes the guesswork out of dieting for me. Okay, I was really, really interested in measuring macros, making sure my calories, what my caloric deficit is, what my intake was. I was really interested in measuring all of that. And at first, I was doing pretty much what everyone else was doing. I'm just kind of guessing, right? And I don't want to guess. I want to know, right? I want to know. There is some variation between meal to meal, but generally speaking, they're somewhere between 500 to 650 calories a meal. Okay. So that takes the guesswork out of dieting, right? If you need to hit 1,500 calories for the day or 2,000 calories for the day, you eat 3 meals. I mean, it's pretty easy. If you want to be in a caloric deficit, you eat 2 meals, right? You're at a deficit of 500, right? Kind of makes sense. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of dieting for me. And then of course, you can tailor your workouts now to reflect the kind of deficit that you're looking for. Pro, right? Strong pro. When I started the whole thing, I was 255, and then in 9 weeks I dropped to 248, but it's a very slow, gradual. I don't feel like I'm withering away, or how you lose weight too fast, you kind of look funny. It's a slow kind of process, which I appreciate. So there's that. And then of course, like I said, you can dictate your workouts to reflect the deficit that you're looking for. Another pro, little bonuses, right? When you get your first box, your second box, your third box, and you're getting kind of bored with it, whatever, they'll throw in these little candy bar looking things, and you can pick them if you want to. Or they threw a probiotic soda thing that was kind of cool. And it's just nice to okay, I got my box. Oh, look, there's this little bonus, right, that I wasn't expecting. So that's kind of cool. That's a big pro for me. And I actually get kind of excited about that. Me and Catherine have kind of figured out which little healthy chocolate bars we like, and then we kind of maybe eat them. The other one's not looking. Another pro is it halves my grocery shopping. I really don't have to do much grocery shopping. I hate grocery shopping. I hate grocery shopping with a passion. I don't necessarily want to be around everybody else all the time. I don't want to dress up to go to the grocery store. I don't want to deal with the lines. I don't want to self-checkout. I don't want to feel like a criminal when I'm walking out the door. I don't want to feel like I have to have my receipt or I'm not going to get to leave. I don't want to deal with all that. It's very nice that when I get my Factor meal box, the main course and the side's already done, right? So the only thing I need to get at the grocery store is whatever my supplemental stuff is going to be and whatever my drinks are going to be. Has my grocery shopping, thus has the time that I have to be in there. So I really appreciate that. Another thing, me and Catherine, we don't really argue about what to eat, right? I come home, it's like, there's the meal, refrigerator, microwave, done deal, right? If there's one that she doesn't want to eat, doesn't want to try, well, she's got 14 other options that she can pick from. So the whole like, hey babe, what do you want to eat today? That's conversation's done. The reconciliation team is spot on. Factor, they mess up a lot. Don't get me wrong, they mess up a lot. But when they do mess up, they credit the account, they pay it back, they're pretty much on top of it, right? They have asked me for proof from time to time, but the last situation that I had with the meal that was bad, it was pretty much on our system, and I really, really appreciate that. What we do for a living, the protective services, right? I want to be taken for my word, right? I don't want to feel like a criminal. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to get one over on anybody. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to steal something. It's nice to just be taken at face value for what my word is. This particular meal is messed up. I'd like it to be replaced. It's replaced. I appreciate that. Or at least reimbursed. I don't think they've ever sent me like an extra meal, right? They just kind of reimbursed me what I paid. So that's cool. Kind of a bonus is, and maybe it's just the fat kid in me, but I'm actually kind of excited to get the box, right? I get the box, I open it up, it's like Christmas with food, right? It's like my meals for the week. So I'm excited for that. I look forward to that. I look forward to having some sort of mail that's addressed to me that isn't a bill, right? That's kind of cool. That's definitely kind of cool. So cons, okay? Big cons. We got to talk about them. There's a lot of them. They're there. They exist. The introductory price was awesome. Like, I think it was like $80 for the week. It was like 14 meals. And I was like, oh yeah, 14 meals, $80 for the week. That's solid. I could live like that. But that only lasts for 1, maybe 2 weeks. Once they hit you with the real bill is coming up to like 140 to $200 a week. Now, I understand, right? I understand that this is my grocery bill. Your grocery bill that you would be spending at Walmart or whatever, and you're using it to pay for Factor. I get it, but it feels different when you have to pay it all up front. It's kind of up to you. Is it death by 1,000 cuts, or is it just one big slit across the throat? That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It's like, oh, that's my grocery bill all in one go. Ah. Whereas before, I was taking a bunch of little trips to the grocery store. I need for 2 or 3 days, going back, whatever. So now I'm not doing that. To be fair, I'm getting lunch and dinner with some meals dedicated towards Catherine when she decides that she doesn't want to cook dinner or doesn't want to make whatever it is that she makes for dinner. When you look at it like I'm feeding 1.5 people, then it kind of makes a little bit more sense, okay? And this one's going to sound dumb, so just lay with me here, but there's a disconnection from your food source. And I understand that the American food process is disconnected anyway, but like you're really disconnected. The connection of you going to the store and putting your hands on and like picking what you're going to eat, that's no. Somebody put this in a box and mailed it to you. And I know obviously that's the service, right? That's what you're paying for, but it feels different. It feels very disconnected. Like, did this person wash their hands before they threw it in there? I don't know. And you don't know either. If you microwave it for 3 minutes, it should kick off all the germs, okay? So there you go. There's a lot of disconnection between where your food comes from and where you are and how that process does. Something that bonafides Factor is, I'm not sure how, but Factor is somehow affiliated with HelloFresh. So if you trusted HelloFresh to deliver your foods, it's probably okay to trust Factor to deliver your foods. I'm just saying there is some disconnection there, and that does feel weird. Third con, mishaps. And there are mishaps. Boy, are they. Consider this. You spent your $180 for the week, and maybe you upcharged it because you wanted to try the filet mignon, you know what I mean? And you got your meals and 5 of them are cracked, okay? Well, you've already spent the $200, right? That's already out of your budget. And they might reimburse them back the next 2 or 3 days, but that's 2 or 3 days that you got to figure out what you're going to eat and how you're going to budget for that while they're reimbursing you, if that makes sense, okay? You need to be cognizant that those little itty bitty TV tray type shits that they put it in, don't hold up, and they don't hold it very well. It has been my experience, right, that some of them have been cracked at the bottom. Some of them are cracked, you don't find out till you've already eaten the meal, and then you have like this anxiety-inducing panic attack for a minute, like, oh no, what did I eat? Oh, I'm gonna die. At least I do, because I wash my hands 50 times a day. Just be aware, you may at some point experience a cracked little dealy bobber, and you got to figure out if you can deal with that or not. I can't. Okay, so I complain, but just so you know, I have found a hair or two. I have found some foreign object in one of them. Okay, those kind of mishaps make me feel like maybe it's time to stop with the Factor, but the convenience of it really, really kind of outweighs the ick of it, if you can make sense of that, at least for me. It may not for you, so just be careful with that. Number 4, the calories are light. If you are not used to eating 1,500 calories a day, if you're used to eating, you know, the standard American diet of 2,700 calories and more, this is gonna feel very, very hard. Each meal is about 500 to 600 calories. So you eat 2 meals, whatever you've allocated yourself for the day, eat 3 meals, that's only 1,500 calories. Okay, you're probably going to be hungry throughout the day. You're probably going to need to get some almonds, probably need to get some sort of trail mix, some sort of maybe beef jerky, some sort of other healthy oriented snack that you can snack on throughout the day, because you will get hungry. It's motivating to me to finish up my water intake for the day because I'm hungry, so I'm going to drink as much water as I possibly can. So I will say that on the plus side, hidden pro, you will get your water intake down because you're probably going to be hungry. Just be cognizant of that. Another con, no beverages. They've sent me one like Popwell probiotic soda dealie, and that's that. Me, I only drink water and coffee, and on occasion I will drink a sparkling ice, and on occasion I will have a diet Dr. Pepper or a Diet Coke. If you're not preparing for that, you need to make sure that you allocate some sort of money for your drinking budget. And it kind of gets lost, but you need to allocate something for your beverages. Another con is the scheduling. They can schedule you a box, and there's little notice between when you expect your box to be there and when they tell you that your box is going to be there. Okay, so let's say your day is Saturday. My day is Saturday. So Saturday, or Friday night rather, I'm looking at the Factor meals and I'm thinking like, oof, I got one Factor meal left. Box better be there on Saturday. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it is not. Saturday night, Sunday, maybe you get your box on Monday. Okay, Monday you got your boxes. But Saturday night, Sunday, you got to figure out what you're going to eat for that day. That gets annoying, especially when you're kind of reliant upon this in your grocery budget, right? If you're giving them all your grocery budget and they slow down, forget, somebody walks off, whatever, you definitely feel that. And just a caveat on this, like my next con is you're at the mercy of UPS, okay? Or FedEx, whoever sends it to you. If they decide that they don't want to carry that heavy ass box up to your door and drop it down gently, they're not gonna, and you're gonna know it. This dude's gonna hump this thing up there and he's gonna, there's your dinner, enjoy. I mean, you might get a box that's beat to shit, looks like it came out of Vietnam, just all scarred up, battle worn, tattered, and that's, crack that mug open and there's your meals. So you're at the mercy of the professionalism of UPS and FedEx. Take that how you will. Finally, and I know this probably isn't for everybody, some people probably don't care about this, but I care about this. It doesn't feel very environmentally friendly. You get a box every week. There's some sort of recycled insulating material that's recycled in there. And then there's a couple of ice packs. I mean, you can be reused, but after you've done it for 9 weeks, it's like, I've got 50 ice packs. What am I gonna do with 50 fucking ice packs? You need to be aware that it's not environmentally friendly. There's a lot of waste, and the byproduct is also a lot of trash. Right? So you're hitting the meal and you open the little plastic tray. You do that 2 times a day times 2 people or whatever, and that starts to stack up in the trash can pretty quick. The other part too is if you're worried about plastics, I have no idea what kind of plastic they put it in. If you're worried about microplastics or something like that, you're gonna have to get over that if you're gonna fuck with Factor. Another con, it's a pro and it's a con, and that's kind of why I wanted to save it for last. Okay, if you're kind of on the standard American diet and you're coming on to the whole Factor thing, Factor is organic. okay? Or at least they claim to be. But you have no idea because you're disconnected from your food source, but it's supposed to be organic. Okay, whatever. The first week, 2 weeks, I realized that I was eating my factor meal. I still might be a little bit hungry, but I'm sticking with this, whatever. And you got to use the restroom right afterwards, probably within 30 minutes. I didn't realize it until I was like 3 days into it, but more or less my body was purging all the bad stuff that I ate over my holiday. Okay, so over vacation, I was eating all those pancakes and whatever. That was all coming out with the factors because now I'm eating something that's got some fiber and I'm eating something that's organic. There's not a lot of other additives or whatever in there. Supposedly, you're pooping all that out pretty regularly until your body gets used to it. I think that happens to everybody when they switch over to organic anything. They kind of go through a purging process, but it's something that you should definitely be aware of it, that your frequency is going to change and your bowel movement is going to change. I've put that as professionally as I could. Just be aware. That was something that I noticed kind of right up off the bat, that I'm in the bathroom a lot. And you probably will be too. Take it how you will. All this being said, there's other services that are comparable to Factor. When you put a Factor meal next to a Meals on Wheels, you really can't tell the difference. There's probably other meal subscription services that you could use who've got a little bit more skin in the game and been around a little bit longer. You could do that. The biggest reason why I wanted to stick to Factor, and the reason why I even decided to bring it up and I still stay with them, is because it's made my dieting a lot easier. And the other part is noticing the downward trajectory in the scale. It's important to me. Every time someone sees me that hasn't seen me in a long time, they're like, "Oh, Jimmy, you're looking good." And you know what? Okay, I'm in the gym every day, right? I'm still living an active lifestyle, but it's just nice to know that some of my dietary changes are making their appearance in my body, right? And other people are noticing that, at least so they have said to me. And that right there kind of tips the scale in the other ways. This is probably not for a lot of people. If you're not going to lunch in a professional setting and spending that kind of money every day, this is probably not for you. If you don't have the budget tied down to a T, this is not for you. And you got to really budget for this because it can be expensive. If you're not in a working environment where you have access to a break room, or you have like access to a microwave, or you don't have any way to heat your food up, that is also annoying. Trying to microwave this thing at the microwave at the QT and like walking in with the Factor, QT, using the microwave at the QT and then walking out feels weird. Okay. It just feels weird. The other part is if you're forgetful, this throws your budget out of the window, right? I'm going to eat this Factor meal today. I've already paid for it. I'm going to eat it. You forget and you end up going to work and you're not going back home to get your Factor meal. So then you end up like spending your $5, $10, $20 or whatever for lunch. Then it throws your budget out of the window. And you start throwing your budget out of the window, then it makes less sense to do the Factor situation. If you're going to do it, you got to go all the way. You have to really commit to it. If you're not going to do it, then there's probably cheaper alternatives and there's probably cheaper budgeting options that you could go for. Just be cognizant of that. And then lastly, it's organic. The leaving it in the refrigerator for 2 weeks, that's not a thing. You'll notice pretty quick after the expiration date, it's going to get stale. So you either need to figure out if you're going to freeze it or you need to figure out if you're going to eat it before the goodbye date. And I don't advise anyone to go past that. So you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're going to find that out. Stick around, we'll get to that. So, do you want to take a bet on if these meals are going to be messed up like last week's meals were? All right. They're actually not. Very nice. Nice full thing of ice check here, ice little brick here. Dill crusted chicken, cheddar broccoli. Dill crusted chicken and cheddar broccoli. You definitely picked these, didn't you? I feel like I have to check them and make sure that none of them are broken. I don't know what that is.
That one looks suspicious.
See, what is this? Right? Like, what is that? Is that a puncture mark? I don't know. See what I'm saying?
Squeeze it, see if anything comes out.
It's funny, but because we've dealt with it for a minute, so it's funny. Oh, we didn't get the special secret candy bar things. Okay. But look, yep. That's how it comes in. It's all insulated. There's an ice pack. It's got leftovers on the outside. But that's it. That's our meals for the week.
Beautiful.
Then I'll add that to the video that I showed the office. Oh, you love it? Look, I just opened this up. I'm about to microwave it. And what is that? There is something like pocket fuzz. It's like pocket lint. That's underneath here. All right, here we go. I'm gonna open this thing up back up again. I'm gonna get it right here from the side. Okay, I want to do this. Well, how do you know? How do you not know that there's any in the food?
You don't. You just have to risk it.
Let me see if there's any on the other corner here. It doesn't look like there is. I don't see anything in the food.
Don't eat that.
All right. Thank you to the lovely Kat for helping me
For me?
film my Factor video opening presentation.
I expect to get compensated largely.
Texas Industrial Security. Securing personnel, securing property, securing assets, securing peace of mind.